Buckle up, baby.
Punch it! I'm Hunter. Welcome to That's Just Crait, where we talk about all things Crait about Star Trek. Star Wars.
Whoa. Hold on.
Whoa there, buddy.
Star Wars.
Hunter,
Sorry.
Reel it
my
in.
man gets captured. I don't know what
Wrong
the first
card.
order did to you while you were captured.
I've
if
been
they
out-
did like brainwashing techniques or what, but
I've been gone for a little bit, so I forgot what we talk about, you know?
well,
I got captured by the First Order,
Return of the
got
King.
tortured, but I'm
Wrong
back.
fandom, Hannah.
Unscathed. I
Sorry.
almost lost a hand, but we're back. We're fine. Everything's fine.
So, I guess you could say somehow Hunter returned.
No,
It's
just
Jacob,
like-
swear to God.
Every time. I get it every time, you know? Like, it's
Every
fine.
time someone comes up.
Somehow. It just happens, I guess you could say.
Hunter
you know?
flies now.
I'm going to quit this podcast by
I
the time
fly
we get to
now.
the 10th episode.
Hunter flies now.
Anyway, welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for, I believe, episode 7 of the podcast. Maybe
It's now a
episode 8.
habit.
No, I think it's episode 7. It is now a habit.
Episode 7,
So
now have it.
we're doing it. We're all in. We've made it. Big leagues,
Oh my
baby. We're all in this. Yeah, I was actually about to say that. That freaked me out, but it's fine. But that all being said, thank you to everybody who's watching on YouTube, listening on YouTube, and listening on Spotify. We've gotten a lot of great feedback actually on Spotify, which has been really, really cool and really, really great. And I know that we all appreciate it. I feel like I say that every episode, but I'll keep saying it because I know it's very much true. Whenever it comes to kind of like all of our opinions on it, I think collectively we all kind of agree that it means a lot. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening and everything in between. We greatly appreciate the support as always. But this episode is going to be a really fun one. We've got a lot of fun things in store. We're mainly going to be talking about a side of Star Wars that we actually haven't really delved into. So I'm actually really excited to discuss this kind of today. What do you think, Logan?
I think it'll be really, really good, and I have a lot to say about it, so we're not going to start with me this time, because I think I got too much, apparently.
This is going to be the
Logan
Logan
said,
episode.
I'm going to be yapping.
I'm going to be
Logan
yapping.
show.
I have some updates. I have some updates compared to the last couple episodes.
I guess then I'll kind of kick us off a little bit,
Yeah.
because I don't have as much to say this week.
Go for it.
You know, I started The Mask of Fear, the first book of the Reign of the Empire trilogy, and I've got to say, I'm not done with it yet, but I'm really enjoying it a lot. I think that so far it's got a lot of really great perspectives on how the galaxy is kind of after the events of Revenge of the Sith. And it honestly makes it even more sad that I finished Queen's Shadow, which is the first but technically second in the Padme trilogy. I finished that right before I started this book. So the end of that book, I don't want to spoil anything, but like there's an event that you know if you've seen the films that's kind of like the end of that book, and let me just say that it's kind of a gut punch going from that straight into the Empire is here. Everything is fundamentally changing. And Logan, you've even said it before, like it's such a dark time for the galaxy that it's like it's really kind of hard
bleak.
to like read and watch stuff from that era to an extent.
Yeah. I also started Mask of Fear as well. So I have I started listening to the audiobook, and then I said, you know what, I should probably get the physical copy. So I got it from Barnes & Noble a few days ago. But I'm trying to find time to squeeze it in as well.
Play.
That's awesome. No, it's really, really good. I actually need to get my physical copy because I've been listening to the audiobook on Spotify. People are going to think that we're sponsored by Spotify.
Because it's free, I think.
But, like,
Hey,
it's free if you have premium. So,
Yeah.
like, if you have premium,
Exactly.
you can listen to, like, some audiobooks
Worth
for
it.
free.
Spotify is better than Apple Music. I said what I said.
Hold on.
all right, let's relax.
I'm like 50-50 on streaming for music and stuff, I guess.
At least she's not saying like Tidal or something like that.
Oh, gosh. I totally forgot that existed until you just said that. Like,
Me too.
You guys remember Pandora?
if you're listening to your music on that, like, what do you...
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Pandora was
Anyway,
cool.
Pandora.
Anyways. Reel it in.
To go back to Star Wars, no, Mask of Fear is great so far. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really excited to get my physical copy for it. Queen Shadow, also great. Really excited to read Queen's Hope next. These Padme books are just fantastic, and E.K. Johnston's writing style and just her writing in general is very well done, which I think is great. But in terms of other stuff, aside from books, because I feel like I mainly talk about Star Wars books whenever like we do one of these podcast episodes. It's been kind of a rough week, a little bit of a tough week. Been kind of stressy, depressy a little bit lately. So today I decided to pick up this, and it was actually on sale. So even though it just came out
already,
which is weird, yeah, I don't.
What
know
is
how,
this?
I actually
You
got
gotta
it.
just
what is this for our
cheaper.
listeners
No,
that can't see us, which is all of them?
I'm sorry. I to the people that can't see because we don't have video yet.
Which is all of you guys.
Just everybody.
I promise that we're working on it. We'll get there eventually. But it is the Lego Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor set that just came out. And I have to say that building this gave me the dopamine hit that I was looking for. It definitely was a fun build. I'm a big fan of like the Jedi Interceptors anyway.
I always like them better than the Starfighter.
Is great. Finally, someone who agrees.
Yeah, I feel like that's just logical. Did you know?
Holding up the Delta Funko Pop of Ahsoka's.
Did you know that
Jedi
Ahsoka's paint job on her ship is the Jedi symbol?
Yes.
Really?
Huh?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
know
you
that,
can
Jacob?
tell.
Oh my
You can
gosh!
tell him more. You can tell him more on the Delta 7.
See,
No
Life
way!
changing, right?
I've never realized that until you just said that. Actually, wow.
Yeah.
Oh
Now
my
we're
gosh.
gonna have people in the replies to Logan be like, "He's a fake fan. He's a fake fan. He didn't know that it was on her Jedi Interceptor or Delta 7.
He
like,
didn't know.
whatever."
Yep. Take
No.
my Star Wars tattoos off of me. Get them off. Might as well.
The Anakin figure in that one is so
But-
good. When we do the Lego podcast, which we will eventually, I do want
yeah.
to talk about how like good minifigures have gotten over the years, because I love that. I love that the Anakin in that set is printed on a dark brown body, because then it makes the black printing of his like tabards over it look more
Yes,
like
I
it's his
agree.
like brown tunic underneath, apparent, like as compared to just like
Oh,
I don't know, like a sleeveless shirt on like the other older versions of it.
Mr. Details over here.
Yeah, I love
like
my.
it.
You do not mess with Lego Star Wars and me. We go way back.
special interest.
No, I love it. I think it's cool. And I actually agree. But aside from Lego Star Wars and books, I feel like I haven't done too much. Well, actually, wait. That's a lie. Because I haven't told you. Well, that's a lie. I was going to do a bit where I was like, oh, I haven't told you guys about this, but I can't lie because that's wrong. I have a special guest for the
You withheld
podcast
the truth.
today. And I'm so excited for all of our listeners to know who it is. Hunter, thank you
Oh my
for your
God.
fake optimism. I appreciate it.
I'm
What,
just
top
gonna
left of
get
them?
out,
You know-
actually.
Here's the thing. Before I announce who this is, I'm gonna pass the mic to Hannah to talk because I want to make the special guest feel welcome, and we're gonna give him a little bit of time. But Hannah, I'm gonna hand you the mic.
Is he
and
nervous?
We're gonna go from there. He is very nervous. Actually, it's been a while since he's done something since 2017. So I'm
That's
excited.
okay.
But Hannah, I'm gonna
Oh.
pass the mic to you, and hopefully you can talk about Star Wars, and that'll give us our special
So
guest
excited
for
for
this
this.
podcast
Yeah.
some time to de-stress and chill.
So we
Ooh.
got lots of exciting things to talk about because your girl finally finished playing Star Wars Outlaws.
Yay! Applause!
Thanks.
Finally.
This is where the fun begins.
All the applause. It is where fun
Yes.
begins.
Let me
Are we allowed to
stand up
talk-
and applause.
spoilers.
Yeah, it's only
The
been out.
game's
it's
been out
past
for
the
a
point.
while.
It's been out since August. I think you're the
Yeah.
only one that hasn't finished playing it yet.
So-
Yeah.
I
It's
know.
on me. It's on me if I get spoiled at this point.
I think the first big mission that I hit, Logan and Jacob had been hyping this up, and then once I hit it, I finally understood
Oh,
why.
yeah.
And Logan got to witness this actually.
Oh yeah, I
'cause we were
gotta
on
witness this
Discord.
firsthand.
But it was the mission. You start out and you break into the Imperial compound, and you have to like wipe the data from the Viper droid, which that had me stressing. Like I turned into that clip of Jennifer Lawrence where she's like, "What do I do? What do I do?" Like that was me the whole time. was like, where'd it go? I'm so stressed.
I can confirm.
It was like, yeah, I think once I got to the final missions, like, first of all, the stealth in that game is so good because it makes you like actually feel the stress and like a little bit scared. But I felt like once I got closer to the end of the game, the stakes were higher and I was like heart palpating. But then, first bombshell was what Zero had really been up to. And that Zarek Besh, not a real crime syndicate. I was like, what?
Nope, it's a front.
What is happening right now? And then right after that, Vader shows up.
Huh?
Yep. Yeah.
What? I was
My honest
not
reaction, Hunter.
Maybe I should play this game.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, bro found out he had a son and immediately just started making it everybody's problem.
That was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But the scene of
That
him
reveal
where
is
he like,
wild too.
oh my god, I got like.
I'm so glad that I
chills.
didn't
And
have
then-
that spoiled for me.
Yeah, me too.
Here. Hunter.
We already said we were talking about spoilers. It's okay.
It's okay.
Cover
You
your
said it
ears.
was your fault if you got it spoiled.
And then I guess when I got further to the end, this was not surprising because I was always sus of Jalen.
Mm-hmm.
So when he like did K dirty, I was like, gosh dang it.
Yeah.
Carabast. Like, but I knew it was coming.
Griff.
But it was not surprising because he just kind of gave off that vibe where like you can't really trust him. You never really met him in person, so
Right.
I
didn't even like really.
But then I
consider that
got mad at
thing as a
him
hologram.
when he was treating ND the way he was, and he was like, "No, you can't have this droid. Whatever."
Don't get me started.
That was really upset. Oh my gosh! Don't touch ND. And then it was also shocking that he and Sliro were brothers.
Yeah, I think like,
Family lore.
part of me was like, I could see this happening, but I think that the way that I think Jalen had covered up the story so well was really interesting to me.
So
It'll be cool to see it
interesting.
on a rewatch or replay.
The
I guess.
There's
drama.
one thing that
Insane.
if there's one thing Star Wars loves, it's family drama.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I think we haven't really gotten any
yeah.
like brother drama. Very
know,
rarely.
You're right.
Like a lot, like we get a lot of family drama, but not anything between like siblings. I guess if you like,
Right.
disregard Luke and Leia and that whole
I
thing.
mean, yeah,
then-
we had that one time where the brothers just kissed.
Hold on,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
We don't
Hey,
talk about that, Hunter. It's the
Hey,
collective
What I-
rule with Star Wars fans. You just move past it.
My bad. I'm fake.
I think what I liked most about the end of the story, though, which was it was right after that little reveal moment that they were brothers, was well, first of all, it was fun when we got to pretend to be a stormtrooper and like sneak in because I was like, this is
Yes,
just
that's my favorite.
that's so
trope.
Star Wars. I love when that
Yeah.
happens in Star Wars. But the fact that she went back for ND5 and was like, I'm not leaving without him. She basically risked her life for ND5.
Dude.
And then, oh my god, the whole sequence
love
of like
them.
him coming after her, that was just too much.
That hurt.
But I loved it.
I was so emotionally invested in K and
Oh,
ND5,
same.
like from like the first few scenes of them together. I think it was when
Yes.
they were like first starting out in the mission. I think when they showed up on Akiva for the first time, and I forgot what he had mentioned, but I remember being like, I like him. I think he's really cool, and I'm glad that like the story ended up kind of like revolving around their like relationship, like as like their friendship for the most part. Towards the end of it, I thought that was really like well done.
I loved it so much. I also just love the scene of like you think the restraining bolt didn't come off, but then he had it.
Oh yes, dude.
Poetry.
Oh, so
I
good.
love it.
It was
Who
so good.
who ended up helping you at the end?
The Akiva clan. So I figured it was probably whoever you had the best reputation with.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, when I had both Crimson Dawn and the Ashiga at excellent.
Mhm.
And then I was good with the Hutts. And then I was trying to get out of the bad area with the Pikes. But when I was doing a mission with them, it made my reputation with Crimson Dawn go down. Then I
no.
lost it.
Oh no.
So I figured that's why I got the Akiva, because I
Yeah.
had excellent them.
That's cool. I got Crimson Dawn on mine, but I feel like a lot of people
Same
got Crimson
here.
Dawn. I would be
Yeah,
really
probably.
interested to see like
It's a little basic.
the
It's a
hut,
basic
you know?
one.
Okay, but how are you not gonna pick
But it's
Crimson Dawn as like your favorite?
Right?
no, yeah,
Yeah,
It is
Hunter.
everybody's
Drips
Yeah,
and
no.
Dawn.
Valid.
Come on now.
Drips and
No, yeah.
Dawn.
I agree. I
Drips
agree.
and
I
Dawn.
agree
That's what I'm
with you.
saying.
Playing this game makes me wish that we had more Crimson Dawn content and like more content of Kira outside of the
Yes.
game, like in
Yeah,
a
I love her.
watchable content way.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that
Forces
the
of
Knights
Destiny,
of
man.
Ren-
I think they have like one episode
Yeah.
of her.
I cannot believe that the Knights of Ren are almost entirely responsible for the reason that like Crimson Dawn like ceases to exist. Like that's crazy to me.
Huh.
I did not know that.
I did not. I think I
Sorry,
looked up like one time a
spoilers.
brief history
Yeah.
of Crimson Dawn.
All right, there's another spoiler that I got spoiled. Wow.
Hunter's just. We're gonna call this episode the one where Hunter gets spoiled.
Yeah,
That's okay.
like a
No,
Friends
it's fine.
episode.
Basically.
Dude,
Yes.
things haven't been going well for Hunter. He gets kidnapped by the First Order, tortured and chased by Kylo Ren, and then he comes back to where he finally gets to reunite with his friends, and he just gets spoiler after spoiler after spoiler.
It's what we've been
That's
doing for
unfortunate,
7 episodes,
tragic
just
tale.
spoiling the entirety of Star Wars.
Yeah, you know that's what we're known for.
Yeah,
We're the spoil boys, you know.
yeah.
Spoil boys.
That's what we do. The
I
spoil
guess
boys
there was
and Hannah.
another. I can't remember. I know me and Logan were talking about this when I was playing the game, but didn't you say that we see the Akiva in something that I had no
Yeah,
idea?
the Ashiga clan, who's on
Did I say
Kajimi, not
Akiva?
Akiva.
I meant Ashiga.
Yeah, I've been saying Akiva.
Close
I
enough.
thought. Well, we knew that the
Akiva's
Ashiga
the
clan themselves.
Planet, I think.
Yeah, the Ashiga clan were created for outlaws, but I think the species that is the Ashiga clan, like, because the Ashiga clan is not like Ashiga is like the species, like how the Pike Syndicate is like the Pikes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a different species, and I think they showed up in, might have been even like Mando or like the sequels or something like that. I know that they're like a more like
Oh.
recent species. I forgot who I was talking to. I think it was like Kirkar or like Cobalt on Twitter. But I remember we were discussing about like what series they showed up in originally. So it was pretty interesting. I like them, and like I like their whole like
Yeah, they're
hive mind thing.
I
And
want to
it'd be
know what they
interesting to
look
see
like
more.
under the mask.
Yeah, for a bit, I was
I
watching
need
a bit
to
of
know.
Solo today, and I thought that Moloch was one of those species, but then I realized that they weren't, because it was just the Moloch has a very similar face shell.
Yeah.
Moloch,
Pretty cool, though.
hi.
Because clearly there's some kind of like insect-based creature.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I love that
There's
in
a
that
weird
If they
game.
weren't, I
impact.
would be surprised.
I love how
Or buggy.
chill the Ashiga are in this game.
Mhm.
You know,
Do you
I
think
think
they
we were
look like
talking about
ants?
that. I think they would look more like Metapod from Pokemon. That's like the vibe that I get. Is that they're a bit larva-y.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's kind of how I feel about the Pike Syndicate. Like,
Oh,
they
I love
kind
the
of
Pikes.
always had that
Yeah.
vibe. You know,
I like
You know, the
when
Pike Syndicate. Oh, I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
We got really quiet for a minute.
Yeah,
That's-
I was letting
didn't
you
know
talk.
Who was gonna go? I was like, wait, no. I was gonna say real quick. Like, I think I've mentioned it before, but anytime I get to talk about the Pike Syndicate, I love to mention that whenever I was playing Outlaws, I had like maxed out my reputation with like every single other syndicate, but the Pike Syndicate, I was on like terrible for
Dude,
like the reputation.
They are
I had
hot.
them
That was
spam, like,
kinda
death
everybody.
squads after me. It was awful.
because they were like the
I didn't know what
first.
to do.
Weren't
They
they
have
like the
a lot of
first syndicate that you
territory.
get introduced to besides like it was
They
Crimson
really
Dawn
do.
and the Pikes. So I feel like you were kind of like forced to choose either one of them, and I feel like most people obviously would align with Crimson Dawn, and then that would
Right.
in turn make you sort of antagonize the Pikes, and so every instance that you can antagonize the Pikes, you would antagonize the Pikes.
Yeah.
I think that's
Plus, like
the
once you leave
psychology behind it.
Toshara, if you don't go back to Toshara, there's not a lot of options to get it back up with the Pikes.
Yeah. I like them though. They're really good at Sabak. I like their little Sabak table on
Yes.
Akiva. They have a little area there, and it's really fun to chill.
That
in
was the
at
other
moment.
thing I really enjoyed about this game was Sabak. Because I'm
Yes.
not gonna lie, I
playing it
got,
a lot.
Yeah,
I
you
got
were
pretty good
you
at
were
it.
gambling your horses on Sabak.
I was good
I
at
remember
it.
hearing
I
all
think
that.
I only lost one match, and it was because I had started to get really tired. Because I came
Did you
back the
use
next day
cheats?
and I won.
Hey,
Yeah.
I think that means you're a gambling addict.
Yeah, I remember the first time I
Well,
played.
hold
Sabak.
on. Well, Hannah, you know what they say? 99% of gamblers quit before they hit big. So I mean,
Jacob, we can't be endorsing this on the pod.
Oh my god.
For the
This
record,
I will
he's
say-
joking.
The one Sabak game that had me
this was a
stressing the
joke. This
most.
was not an
This is
endorsement.
sponsored by steak, actually.
The one Sabak game that had
You
me
put a
stressing the
little
most was
watermark
the
at
one
the
against Lando.
Oh my god, I hated that. Like the first
Well-
time I played that.
And I got so lucky because I won the first time. So
Yeah.
but it was very close. But the cheats that I chose are like the little what are the shift tokens?
Yes.
I chose one of the perfect ones because it happened to be one that Lando had and he had played it
Hmm.
and it
Was
like
it the
screwed me
swap
over.
one?
I can't really remember because this was a little bit further back, but he had played it and it screwed me over and I was not about to win, but then he like passed on his turn, so I was like, okay, he's got the winning Sabak hand, and I had the one where we had to swap hands, so then I won,
Yeah.
and I felt so proud of myself.
Yeah, I remember one of them, I think he inverts the is it Lando's tables. He inverts the ranking of the Sabaks and stuff.
Yes,
And
that
he
one
would
actually
always
helped
do
me.
that in like the first round, and I remember I'd be so like PO'd at that because it would just like it would screw me over so much.
Oh,
Um,
that one actually helped
it's
me
pretty
because
fun, though.
I
have you?
had the worst one.
Yeah, have you gotten the DLC for it?
No, but now that I've finished it, I kind of want to because
You should. It's pretty
interested.
fun, and it's Sabak
I
centered.
actually
it seems
I
fun.
haven't played the DLC
Yeah.
yet. I need to play.
It's
the
Sabak
DLC.
and Lando centered, so it's a really
Ooh,
fun
see, I
little
love
Okay.
that.
story.
I love that they're integrating Lando into the game because I feel like he just fits into it so well.
Yeah,
I
it's the
kinda
perfect time
hope-
to.
Not really sure how or if they will or when, but it's kind of implied, especially when you finish the main story. But I want them to add on more stuff to the game, like more DLCs. And it'd be really cool if
Yeah.
I actually got something with Han. Although I doubt that would happen.
That would be tricky since it does
Yeah.
take place before 6.
Exactly.
But it'd be kind of cool if it was like
I
the
doubt
final
it would
DLC and it
happen,
like
but
leads
it would
into
be
like
cool.
yeah, even if it's just like a hint of like Lando being like, oh, I gotta go to Tatooine for a little
Yeah.
cool way to like. Be
I'd
like,
even
oh,
take
we're
that.
doing, you know. Yeah,
That's
just like
so
any
cool.
mention of it.
That would be
yeah.
awesome.
I like that Kay just does not care about the rebellion at all.
She's like,
Every single time
Whatever.
Lando is in the game and he's like, I gotta help out the rebellion. Kay's like, you guys all suck and I hate every single one of you.
I love her
Which is such an
banter
interesting
with,
perspective.
with what's his name?
I
See you later,
need.
Cookie.
The Twilight rebel guy. Is it Sarah?
Yeah. I
That
forget.
made her funny to me.
If
Yeah.
if it's possible,
He tries so hard to
I
get
would
her to join.
Mm-hmm.
this is kind of like, I guess, somewhat related, but it just made me think about it, so I'm gonna say it anyway. I really hope, in some way, shape, or form, Kay Vess can meet Dr. Afra. I feel like that would be a really interesting pair.
Oh, that would be
That
That
would
would
sick.
be
I
really
feel
cool,
like that would be a
actually.
Dude.
really amazing conversation.
the most sapphic
between
pairing
the
I've
two
ever
of
heard.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
no, that would be really cool.
Well, that sounds
No.
fun. I'm glad you finally finished it because I
Me
know that
too.
like
Yeah,
we
me
were.
too.
I think we've been talking about
Like,
it
so
since we
long.
started the pod.
Right, because I honestly was just kind of putting it off.
Yeah.
It's such a
I
good
don't wanna
game
finish-
too, you know.
It's
and
so
like,
much fun. And at least there's
I
stuff
feel
I can still
Underrated.
go back and do.
Yeah.
I feel like so many people online just consistently dunk on it or have stopped talking about it because like that grift, I guess, is just over. But like, it sucks that it has that reputation attached to it because it's such a good game, like genuinely.
It is.
Um,
Yeah,
I think people
you could
hated
do
it
so
before
much
it
in it.
came
so much
out.
to explore. And like the fact that you're not a Jedi makes you even more vulnerable, which adds
Exactly.
so
Right.
much to like the stakes of the game. And like, I love talking about it, but it sucks because I feel like I have next to nobody to talk about it because it's such a good game.
Yeah.
Like,
If you're a fan of
genuinely.
Outlaws and you're listening, sound off in the comments
Yes,
or like
let
just
us
let us on
know.
Twitter because we would love
Yes.
to talk about it.
And like,
Please.
Hannah, you talking about it has been very refreshing because,
Yay.
like I said, since there haven't been many people kind of talking about it in my circle or like
Yeah.
kind of seeing it online so much anymore, like it's cool that we've kind of been able to like create a space here where we can talk
Yes.
about it. And it's
Yeah.
Actually,
cool hearing
one of
you
my
like share like
friends-
your updates and stuff.
I was talking to one of my friends last night, and he downloaded the game and was gonna start it today. So I'm curious to see.
Yeah.
Oh, even
He
better.
liked
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at you being an
Making
influencer.
I can't
fans.
wait till I get to it. I'm so hyped too because Outlaws is again like the reason that I started this whole like timeline
Right.
binge. So it'll be kind of nice to get full circle.
Yeah.
At least on that.
Well, why
moment.
don't you tell the crowd where you're at?
Oh no, Hunter. Let's talk about you. What have you been up?
well,
What have you been up
that-
to? But I know you had an eventful few weeks.
I had gotten captured by the First Order last week.
Hmm.
I got
Tell us
bullied
about it.
by some stormtroopers. I was just, minding my own business in the cantina, getting a little crunk, and they come in.
A little fuzzy tongue
Hey,
on
we're
action.
looking for a spy. I said, I don't know where she went, dude. But I did talk to Vi. She's a sweetie. She's a sweetheart.
Oh.
I helped her escape
Queen.
stormtroopers, and it didn't work because we turned the corner and they
No.
were there.
Oh no.
So,
I hate when that happens.
I think I helped
Well,
Vi
Hunter,
out one
did you
time
say,
too.
Like,
yeah,
did
I
you
really
like
love
not see him and you were like,
how they do that.
did you not see them and then you were like, they're right behind me, aren't they?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those
That would
things.
have been funny.
I turn around, I'm like, oh, there you go.
you're like,
This
I
is
don't know
not-
you at all.
This is
Yeah,
not a
this is
royal
not what it
spy.
looks
What are
like.
you talking about?
You're the
No,
spy.
I've never seen that man in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my extent of Star Wars in this last week.
Yeah. You had a whole blast in
That's
Galaxy's
tough.
Edge. You've
I
been
did.
there before, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't your first
Yeah,
time.
this is like
No,
my 10th
obviously because
time.
you have the ITS transport.
Yeah.
One of
so
these
cool.
days.
Can
One of
I
these days
just
I'll
say,
get it.
like,
It's that.
honestly, like, it feels good having us all back together again. Like,
I
it's
know.
been a
Yeah.
while, and I just like, as we were all talking, and like right even before we started the podcast, like, oh man, it feels so good knowing that we're all back. Like,
This is how it's
we're
supposed
so
to
back.
be.
We're here.
You're so back.
Yeah. Yeah,
We're
yeah, yeah.
so back. But
Alrighty.
I guess now that Hunter's getting quiet and has somehow
Oh,
returned
yeah.
peacefully.
I have one last question
Only
for
yet-
Hunter.
Oh no.
Well, I think you told us in the group chat, but tell the people who you got on Star Tours.
Oh yeah.
I got the wrong Hispanic man that I wanted.
No.
I got Poe, and that was fun. We went to
Oh, we love Poe.
Exegol. I love Poe. He's a sweetie. But
I
I
The
was
love
going
Expo
indoor
one is really cool.
Yeah. Shout
I
out
got,
to the
I
Disney
got-
episode that we did.
as well.
Star Tours is amazing.
Yeah,
So you
who-
said you were hoping for Cassian Andor.
Yeah, I was hoping for Cassian. I got stuck with the other guy.
Stuck with
He's
the
not
other
even
guy.
bad. I
started
love
out-
Not the
started
other
out
guy.
with,
Wow.
when
Started
you.
out with Finn, so that was fun.
Yeah.
He's the best pilot in the galaxy, though.
He was, but he did.
Have you
save
guys
me.
ever gotten the Crait planet for Star Tours?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I love it.
I
That
love
one's
that one
fun.
so much. I loved like the modern stuff because you actually get the actors from Star Wars to do it, and I thought it was really cool
Yeah.
having. I think it was General Hux and Poe, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I loved
so,
Crait.
It's been a while since I got that one.
I wish there were a Battlefront too. In another life.
Love that.
Alrighty. Do I get to yap now?
So,
Yes.
This is finally
I
my
think
turn.
it's finally your turn, Logan. You're kind of scaring me though. Like you said, you had a lot. So
I feel like I
Well,
did.
yeah.
may the force be with you.
Yeah.
Do you realize
last
how
time
much
that we
you've caught
checked
up
in,
on lately?
Yeah. Last time that we checked in, I was at the beginning of the Bad Batch season 2. I have
Such a good
now
show.
watched
I've
all of the Bad
definitely
Batch season 2, season 3, played through Jedi Fallen Order, watched an episode of Forces of Destiny, and now I'm like halfway through Solo: A Star Wars Story, which I was gonna just
Oh, yeah.
binge it all today, but I just didn't have it in me. I was really low energy. But in our timeline at the moment, oh yeah, and I also started reading the Mask of Fear, so that's another thing that happened.
Oh wow.
Woot, woot, woot.
Yeah. So the Bad Batch season 2 happened. Trying to think. I think I might have written down a few notes. Let me take a look. Highlights of this, obviously, our favorite little man fell to his death. Let's see.
Okay.
God,
Hey,
Yes, okay. Oh, this is what I had.
R.I.P.
I had written down. There was it was an episode called The Clone Conspiracy. That was like the one that I left off on. The episode after that, where they're discussing where the Bad Batch is trying to get the command log from what's his name's Venator, Admiral Rampart's Venator, to try and prove that he commanded the destruction of Camino. I thought that was really interesting because I forgot that entire scene happened, because Senator Chuchi proposed it and then put it on the Senate floor and was like, "Hey guys, this guy is insane," and everybody was all arguing over it, and then all of a sudden the alarm starts blaring in the Senate, and then you see this slow little pyre rise from the center, and it's Palpatine, and he's like, "This guy is not he does not represent us," and he like blames it on Rampart and said that it was his own doing because he let his personal feelings get in the way. And then he doubled down on it and said that the fact that the clones so blindly followed the orders, why are you guys laughing so hard?
It's so sad, I think.
Yeah, okay. Because he doubles down and blames it on the clones, and then is like, this is why we need to get rid of these clones and then create the military from conscripted soldiers. And I was like, this guy is a genius, and he's also the worst person ever.
The way you said that, just
another mention.
The comedic timing was perfect.
Another mention was Halle Bertoni.
Don't look at the group chat.
I did see it. It was a mention of Halle Bertoni, who was famously in the Senate arc of the Clone Wars. And I thought that she was pretty cool because she was a Kaminoan, and she's one of the only ones left, apparently, because most of them died besides Nala Se.
Oh, I remember talking about that.
Yeah, what else happened? Tech
sad.
died, so that kind of sucked.
Oh.
No! Tech is alive somewhere.
This is the first time that I rewatched season 2, and, I never really...
Jacob.
I used to watch these episodes...
I'm not going to.
I'm just going to keep powering through because I know you guys are really distracted.
No, I'm listening.
It's not you, Logan, but to the viewers who are wondering, what's going on.
Don't tell them.
All I'm going to say is that someone in here decided to start sending memes while Logan was talking to the text chat that we use.
I've been waiting so long to talk about Star Wars. And this is what I said. Okay.
I'm listening.
This is the first time that I rewatched The Bad Batch Season 2. Tech died, and it hurt me a lot because when I watched it back in college, it was in the middle of the night because I would watch them as the episodes came out.
Oh,
that's all I wanted to say.
Oh no!
That was so
we got to see.
So you saw Tech die at 3 in the morning. Then that's crazy.
All in real time.
No, it was midnight because I'm on the.
I saw Tech die at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it happen too.
What else?
I woke up.
Oh yeah,
I woke up
we got Saw Gerrera back, which was a delight as always, and it's very interesting that he is popping up in Reign of the Empire. Got to see more about Project Necromancer, which was really interesting to actually listen to this time because the last time that I did it, I was really interested in seeing Director Krennic. And speaking of Director Krennic, Project Stardust mentioned for the first time in at least canon.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Really interesting. Yeah, he shows up a couple times. So this is great. It's getting me really excited because what happens at the end of Bad Batch Season 3, first of all, I have to shout out Crosshair. Incredible character arc. I won't talk about too much of it because he is just his redemption, in my opinion, is one of the best written ones in Star Wars, and I love his relationship with Omega and how their siblinghood evolved from the beginning of the show towards the end. I thought that was really beautiful. I finally figured out why the Empire was after Omega because I didn't really get it beforehand, or at least what the extent of the midichlorian was. I was talking about it with a coworker, and I realized it wasn't that Omega had a high midichlorian count. It was never about that. It was just the fact that she had midichlorians.
Right.
And it was just the fact that they were able to genetically replicate it. I never really picked up on that. I always thought that it was a weird thing that she had a high midichlorian count because I was like, oh, a force sensitive clone? That's pretty weird. I didn't realize it was because they were trying to, transfer that for Palpatine. And I thought it's even more interesting that, again, I'm getting into my conspiracy mode thing. Imagine a little whiteboard behind me. It's really cool that Hemlock's whole operation was destroyed because all that research was lost, which means that the Empire and all them had to start over with their research, which is why by the time of the sequels, Rey's dad, who's a clone of Palpatine, does not have any midichlorians in him, which means that they
That
were
is
not able to
true.
replicate the M count, midichlorian count, in him, which is why they just let him go.
Oh my
It all
God,
comes
dude,
full circle because they
never
destroyed
thought
it and
about
they gave all of the
I never
funding
thought about
to
that either.
Project Stardust. I'm telling you, this is like, bring
This
it back
is
to the first
crazy.
episode. Retroactive storytelling.
God, he's got the
This is
crazy
why
idea
it
Yeah.
works.
too.
Tell me about it.
This is why it works.
But also to build off on that, you also have Grogu, and in the first season of The Mandalorian, how they talk about how like he has the ability, his blood has the ability to restore
Exactly.
order back to the galaxy. So
Because
it's
I think
part of
what
the reason why
happened
they wanted
was
him was
They
to get his
needed
midichlorians.
something else.
I think what happened with
Yeah.
Grogu is that they were still trying to figure it out because all that research was lost. I think what they wanted to do was do a direct blood transfusion to the clones instead. Because remember, I think it was season 2 where they had like all the pods and stuff. I think that's what they were trying to do. Whereas what Project Necromancer originally was creating a clone and having all these DNA things replicate perfectly in order to have a genetic replication with the midichlorians.
Right.
Ergo,
I'm-
Palpatine returned.
Somehow.
And it all works.
Somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow he did it.
So the Bad Batch was great. It was really nice to see an actual happy ending to Star Wars for once, if you can consider it that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the very
So,
last
Expecting comeback,
little
so it doesn't
moment of
matter.
all of them when Omega's older,
Yes.
like, pulled at my heartstrings.
Yes.
Break my
Seeing
heart.
Hunter
Oh my
be
God.
all
So
old.
good.
Yeah. And then I got to jump into Fallen Order, which I finished in 2 days.
Oh.
Didn't even
Fallen
give
Order-
me time.
Yeah. One of my favorite
Hold
Star
on,
Wars
Logan,
games
wait,
ever.
wait. What difficulty did you play it on?
I started on Jedi Master and then I got my butt kicked on Dathomir, so I had to tweak it down to Jedi Knight.
I do remember the day that I popped
actually-
in the chat, and you
Yeah.
were scared of Ogdo Bogdo, which we all fear
Yes.
Ogdo Bogdo.
And I
So,
beat him.
like, I get
I
it.
killed him. Yeah, so I started Fallen Order, which is set, I think it was 3
Right.
years after the Bad Batch ended. It takes place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. Obviously, we all know this.
Peter.
Cal Kestis, my king.
I'm
We get to. This is the first time in canon that we see stormtroopers in their proper Imperial armor, which I thought was really
Oh,
interesting
right.
to see. What else happened? The Inquisitors are back. They're doing like this whole thing, and it's really cool seeing Trilla and her whole arc, because
Love
now at this
Trilla.
point with Barriss, who Barriss at this point has abandoned the Inquisitorius. It's kind of nice and reassuring to know that there are so many Inquisitors that just failed, I guess.
Yeah.
Like
That's
it's
true.
sad,
Yeah.
but it's nice to know that like they knew in the end that what they were doing was wrong, and making up for that was pretty nice to see. What else? Anything happen in particular?
It's interesting you say that too,
Yeah.
because you have like Reva, Barriss.
Yeah, Reva, Barriss, and then
Trilla.
now Trilla. Like those are like
It's-
3 Inquisitors that are like, they
Trilla.
all give up
Yeah.
their thing.
The only ones that really didn't find redemption were like what, the Grand Inquisitor, and then
Grand
like
Inquisitor, a few
Yeah.
others in
Yeah.
Rebels.
Brother,
What else?
right?
Oh,
Oh,
Marin, a Night Sister. We got to go back to Dathomir for the first time since the Clone Wars and that episode of Tales of the Empire. So that was pretty cool because we got to learn more about someone who was there when General Grievous massacred the Night Sisters. And I already knew about that before, but having the
Right.
knowledge of seeing the Clone Wars recently and also watching the episode of Tales of the Empire where Grievous is attacking, it's cool to now have another perspective of that event with Marin, getting to share that loss with Cal. And I also have to bring up Order 66 again, because that was really sad, and it
Oh
I
my
forgot that it happened in the way that it did, and it's just
I remember when I
terrifying, and
started that
it's-
part the first time I played the game, I was just like, oh no.
yeah. Because what
Something's about
happens
to
is
happen.
you're at the Tomb of Kujet and you meditate, and then you come out of meditation and you're a child, and as soon as that happened,
Yep.
and I knew that I wasn't on like the training ground, I said, "Oh God, it's happening, isn't it?" And then like I knew because you're talking to all the clones and like being all buddy buddy with Cal, like, giving him high fives and stuff, and it's just like,
It was
I
so
was
cute.
about to mention that. That's so
Depressing.
Hor-
wrenching.
yeah.
Good setup
Um,
for that right there.
But yeah, wrapping it up, I love Bogano as a planet. I just had to shout out Bogano. Nice little
It's so
peaceful
cool.
place. Really beautiful planet. I love the Zepho. I hope that we get
what
more
a
of them.
name.
Yeah, I know. It's Logano from Bogano is what they call me in the streets.
I take it back. I take it back.
We got to see Nur, which is the planet where the Fortress Inquisitorius is. We'll be seeing more of that when I get to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Woohoo.
I love the Mantis crew so much. I think that it is nice to just have a little crew. Oh, Saw Gerrera was in it. I feel like I forgot to mention that. So it was
Yes.
cool seeing him go from the Bad Batch to
Everything on Endor is
Fallen
cool.
Order. Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
Except for the spiders.
Yeah, I hate the spiders.
Kashyyyk, actually.
You're not a fan.
Yeah. So it's cool seeing Saw Gerrera. And again, I'm reading. I feel like I told you I have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
You going?
What else happened? Yeah, so Saw
But
Gerrera
you're
was
doing
cool.
a good job of like covering everything. I think.
Yeah, I know
you're
that I
doing
like.
so good at like hitting everything in
Yeah.
Can I
like, a
complain
short block of time.
about Zepho though?
No, because Zepho, I don't care. Skill issue.
Zepho is cool.
Ride the elevators.
Yeah,
Ride the
I-
elevators.
It's not.
Hated Zepho because I
Read the
always
map.
got lost. I
Watch
always
Yeah.
got
the
lost.
map. It's not
But there's
hard.
Read the
certain
map.
places we
Ride the
can map,
elevators.
Easy to
but the map
read.
doesn't help.
Skill issue.
And I'm like,
skill
how do I
issue.
get back
Get
to
better.
that spot?
Get
It's so
good. Get good.
I do
actually
hate
think-
how much of
Listen,
some of the
no,
maps are
I
like
played a
one
lot-
way.
a
Like
lot-
you can't really go
Yeah.
unless you have loop
Exactly.
around
I think
again.
that's what tripped me up. I actually think
Yeah.
I have another playthrough that I had started on my old Xbox, like probably 2 years ago. And
Mhm.
I guarantee you, if I loaded up that playthrough right now, I would be stuck on Zepho.
Yeah.
Because I came out, I was like, I can't do this.
Trying to figure out
I
what else.
also would get stuck on Zepho because like Zepho has so many areas where like, and as much as I love Survivor, it's also in that game as well, to where there's so many areas that you think you're doing the right thing, and then it's
Right.
like you
And then you're
unlocked
not.
the secret, and you're like, wait a minute, that's
Oh
not,
yeah,
that's
like when you
great,
like
but,
when you go down the wrong path.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
That's
it's
crazy
like
because
you think
again,
you're going where you need to, and then like it's just not where you need to go, you know.
Right.
again,
But
I
it's
finished this
okay.
game in 2
Because
days, so
you
I have
just
no
go
idea
to
what you
cool
guys are
stuff.
talking about.
So,
Saw
Sorry,
Gerrera was
can't
cool.
be
you guys
cool.
suck at the game.
Yeah. Saw Gerrera, my problematic king. He killed Tech, and
We
now
love
he's
him.
like demanding the help of a Jedi to join his cause. So it's just really cool. I feel like we need to shout out Saw Gerrera as a character, taking someone who was in 4 episodes of the Clone Wars and then creating him to be one of the most important characters for the Rebellion.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is
yeah.
very true.
That will loop me into talking about Reign of the Empire very briefly. I'm about 15 chapters in.
Oh, wow.
I was listening to the audiobook because the thing was, I was like, okay, this takes place
Okay.
like right after Revenge of the Sith, and I was like, I'm kind of already here. I might as well just read it like and like mentally do that like alongside it. I do just want to read the physical version though because I feel like the audiobook is just a little slow for me, and I don't like speeding up audiobooks because it just doesn't feel natural.
Yeah.
But I'm loving it. It's very scary to read. And it is just nice to see. Like, I'm really interested in Mon Mothma's plotline in that because, as much as I love like the action and stuff, which is more Saw Gerrera's part, I am really interested in the politics and like the day to day of the living in the Empire. Because you get so much action in like the movies and everything like that. It's nice to get the
That's
like
true.
regular day in the life of someone
it-
living Star Wars.
That's what I like about
And
the
to-
books.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say to build on that, like, it adds so much despair to like
Yeah.
everything going on, like, especially like the Bail Organa chapters and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Like,
It's
you
sad
really
because
start
he's
to
so
feel the darkness.
he's
lot.
so seeking justice for the Jedi, and just knowing that that's not something that
Yeah.
he cares about anymore is really depressing to read. But yeah, that's where I'm at with Star Wars. I gotta read, or I gotta watch Solo, then I gotta watch Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then I have to play Survivor, and then watch Andor season 1 all before Andor season 2 comes out. And I
You've
think I
got
can
a
do it. I think
lot
I
of
really,
good coming up.
yeah.
I think you can do.
We're
You got
we're,
2
we're
months.
inching
A month.
closer to Rogue One, and I appreciate that. But I gotta figure out how I'm gonna fit in Rebels into this, because I know that Andor season 2 will take place over multiple
Oh.
years leading up to
You're
Rogue One,
right.
which means that
I didn't even think about
Rebels
that.
is gonna take place within those timelines. So I might be having to watch like a season of
true.
Rebels every week, basically.
Oh gosh, that's a lot.
Get on that grind, baby.
Yeah,
At least
no,
it's not
because
Clone Wars, 'cause that's more.
yeah, no. It'll just be cool to see, because I want to see how Mon Mothma plays in both Andor and Rebels when she pops up, and how Saw Gerrera will pop up in, Rebels, and then like Rogue One and then Andor and all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how it gets to that point. I would love to see saw working with the rebels and then seeing him fall out. I hope that we see that in anime.
Yeah.
Because
I
we know
think
that
we
he's
will.
like kind of
I think we will
disbanded
too.
from them. But
Yes.
that's my yap sesh for the
He's
week.
kinda-
I hope you guys enjoyed.
You did a good job kind of covering
Thank you.
all of that. Genuinely, I gotta say
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Like I'm.
Thank you. And
covered a
I don't
lot.
think I stuttered too much. Yeah.
No, not at all.
No, you did not.
And like even like I love Logan whenever you specifically do like your tinfoil hat bit to where you go like full conspiracy
Yeah.
theorist and like
Yes.
deep dive into it. Like
'Cause
it's
those
so
lines
cool,
connect.
Like, it adds so much to it. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And
They
like
do.
it's cool to think about it. Like I never thought about like I love the sequels so much, and like I had never thought about even after reading like Shadow of the Sith and stuff. I had never considered that they just let him go just because he didn't have midichlorians. Like
Yeah. Like he's a failed experiment. So
Or,
it's like they
like,
don't need him.
midichlorian
Like that's why he
count.
started a family.
yeah, it's just fascinating. Like it adds
Yeah.
so many
It
layers
is.
to it, you know. But
Yeah.
speaking of big questions that we need answers to,
Oh boy.
Oh, we have a guest,
You know,
don't we?
I was. We do have a guest, and I think
He's been
that
so
ready.
patiently waiting.
Yes, he's been sweating bullets off to the side, you know, because he's just been so nervous to be on the podcast. But you know, he hasn't been in anything since 2017. But as you guys know,
He had a brief vocal appearance in 2019, but neither here nor there.
he did. But like that's just voice work, you know. Like
Yeah.
he didn't have to like act on screen, get on camera.
Still counts.
Like, you know, he's seen some rough patches recently. You know, he's been having a hard time getting work, and he's a little bit washed up. I hate to say that
Like
when he's
the younger
here,
stars are
but-
rising up, and they're sort of taking like place and stuff.
He needs to take the substance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He needs to take the substance. Is that what you just said?
Oh my gosh.
Loki, he did.
I was about to say
Maybe
that.
he did. Maybe he did take the substance.
So you might be thinking, who is the guest? You know, we've got a lot of big questions in terms of Star Wars and beyond that, and just life in general. So I thought to help us all out in these trying times, I thought that it would be great. Who better to answer life's biggest questions and Star Wars' biggest questions than none other than Jedi Master Yoda himself?
Oh,
Guys,
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Yoda.
Everybody, welcome
I
Yoda.
booked Yoda for the podcast.
Oh my
I
gosh.
booked him. He's here. He's here. Now, he's still not talking because he's kind of shy, but it's okay because he definitely will be. So, he's got a weird laugh, though, all of a sudden. Anyway, all jokes aside, I recently found, while looking at my local comic book store, I found, like, this Yoda from 2004, I want to say. It's a part of the original trilogy collection. So I'm assuming it's like 2004 because I remember this packaging from whenever I was a kid. And it's called Ask Yoda. And it's basically like this Yoda doll that has a built-in speaker. And he's essentially like a magic 8-ball, but it's Yoda. So this isn't even the main part of the podcast and like what we're talking about
He's been
today.
so excited
But
for this, by the way, guys. To our listeners out
It's
there.
been a long time coming. I'm actually working on a longer video about it, so I'm so excited about that. But I figured I would debut Yoda here on the podcast, because I figured it would just be great. So, I guess what we can do now is the only catch to Yoda being on the podcast here and guest starring is, for some reason, I have my audio hooked up differently, so I can hear you guys, but I'm recording on a separate mic. The good news is for everybody listening, you will be able to hear Yoda immediately. Okay, so like if I do this. Hold on. Well,
The Force and its wisdom are all around us. Ask your will a yes or no question. Sense the Force in my left hand. Press it and answer you, I will.
okay. So like you guys can hear that. Unfortunately,
We didn't hear
my
any
co-
of
We
that.
didn't hear a
at all.
thing.
my co.
Like not even a
Well,
whisper.
I was actually I was talking to the listeners and not you guys. I was gonna say
Oh,
I
he's
was gonna
gatekeeping
say
it from us.
the listeners can hear this. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to translate for my co-hosts because I don't think that they're gonna be able to hear Yoda. So I will tell
You
you
have to
what
do it in
Yoda
his
says,
voice,
but
though.
I will do my very best. I will try.
It's
I
not
think
gonna
that'll
have the
make the
same
bit
effect.
funnier for you guys. You
Just
know.
say it in your Jacob voice.
I got you. In my Jacob voice. You
Yeah.
just said regular voice, but it's okay. That was a lot funnier. Anyway, so we will ask Yoda some questions. I've got some fan-submitted questions from Twitter that, I had them pulled up, but they vanished. So I guess if somebody has a question that they want to go first, we will do
Hunter.
3 questions here, and
Hit him
then
with it.
I'll ask him some fan questions, and then
Gosh, I don't have it.
we
Wow,
will
it's
hop into
fantastic.
the main discussion for the last 30 minutes or so of the podcast, for this episode at least. So, Hunter, do you have a question to ask our favorite green little friend?
Yeah. Ask him, will my husband ever return from war?
Okay.
Ask
I love
him.
that episode of the
Don't just
Clone
look
Wars.
at me.
Okay. Yoda, will Hunter's husband return from the Great War?
Simple question you ask.
The Clone War.
No, I answer.
He said no!
Oh no!
Oh, he said no!
Oh my god!
Hunter, I'm so sorry.
Hilarious.
I'm so sorry.
I think
Well,
it was-
hold on. How about this? Did Hunter's husband pass peacefully, though, like, in the war? Like, nothing bad happened, right, Yoda?
What, he get dysentery or something?
Yes, I answer.
He said, yeah. Hunter, it's okay. He said yes. He passed peacefully, so it wasn't too bad, you know? There's a lot of bad things that can happen in war, you know?
Yeah.
This is a terrible question.
have a
Yeah,
question.
they say
It never
changes
changes.
anymore.
War never changes.
War never changes, baby.
Oh, boy. Hannah, do you have a question?
Yes. Has he ever
Hit
heard
me with it.
the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
You're so
Whoa.
smart.
It's not a story the Jedi would tell him, but let's find
That's
out.
a
Yoda.
solid reference. Solid reference right there.
Thank you. I try. All right, Yoda. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No, I sense this is.
He said no. He said no. So
It's not a story the Jedi would tell him.
Okay, so it's
Yoda
canon.
said, "I'm sticking with canon."
Well, actually,
All right. Last
All right,
question.
I got a
Logan,
question
you gotta
for
make
it.
A good one. All right.
Yeah. Are we ever getting that Ryan Johnson trilogy? Not gonna happen.
Oh,
Oh no.
I'm scared. I really actually
Logan.
scared for this one. Yoda,
Please say yes. Please say yes.
Yoda, I'm begging you to say yes to this one. Yoda, are we ever getting the Ryan Johnson Star Wars trilogy? All right, here we go. Let's see what he says.
Yes, I feel this will be.
He said yes. Let's go.
Let's go!
It's safe.
We got it. We got it.
Oh,
Sub in the chat.
oh, we're so back, guys.
There is a God.
Hashtag Ryan Johnson trilogy is back on Twitter right now.
Hashtag
so
let's go
We're
Ryan.
so back.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Hold on. I just said let's go Ryan, and I did not realize that there were implications there. Oops,
Let's go,
my
Brian.
bad. Actually, probably not the best hashtag to use, actually. We'll say, way to go, Ryan. Hashtag. No,
Way to
thank
go,
you,
Ryan.
Just use a hashtag. I don't know. Ryan Johnson trilogy. We made it. We made it, guys. We did it. All right, so I guess I'm going to ask 2 fan-submitted questions, and I'll shout out some ats as well. I do want to shout out our former guest, Brayden. Brayden commented whenever I was like, ask Yoda, because I did ask on Twitter. Brayden said, will the next Star Wars film be good? In which I replied back, Brayden, it's Revenge of the Sith. Let's be realistic here. So, I have to
Dang.
ask Yoda for that one. So, Brayden, shout out to you, but I think we already know the answer. Now, let's see if we've got some good ones. It's funny, Hannah, because someone else did ask if he's ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. You asked
That was probably
it,
me, 'cause
and
I did comment it on your Twitter.
I'm looking at it now. It was good. All right. My friend Caleb, Revan1207, or on Twitter at RVN1207, asks, will we ever see the return of the greatest Star Wars character of all time, Deadeye Duncan, who I'm assuming is a
Jinky
Legends
Minders.
character. Jinky it's giving the same vibes, but Yoda, is
Jinky
Deadeye Duncan
Minders?
ever coming back? All
Deadeye
right, you ready?
Duncan.
Yoda, is he coming back?
Disturbing this question is.
Oh.
Meditate on this, I will.
He said it was a disturbing question, and he has to meditate on it. So,
Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa.
He's a
That's
little
not
bit
good.
unsure about Deadeye Duncan.
It's an old Republic character
Oh,
from my
boy.
research.
I'm trying to find another good question here. Someone asked, "Is Grogu yours and Yaddle's?" That's a
Whoa!
little bit
What?
crazy personal.
Let's
for
bring
Yoda
her out,
here, but
Yaddle.
let's.
Like it's Maury or
the other
something.
guest on the podcast. All right, Yoda. This is a very big question. It's the big finale for this segment of the podcast before we move on. So Yoda, is Grogu your baby? Is he your baby? Let's find
It's
out.
Grogu, your baby.
Yeah, baby.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that he said yes, but I couldn't hear because Logan was laughing. So I'll tell you what, just in all fairness, I'm gonna run it again just so I can hear it. So if he said yes, we now have canonical proof from Yoda himself that he is indeed the father. But I'm gonna ask him one more time. We'll see what he says, and maybe if he says no, he just wants to keep it vague. So Yoda, same question, but say it again.
The answer you seek is no.
Ooh. He said no this time, so he said he wants to keep it vague.
Huh.
All right.
I don't know, Yoda.
All
It
right.
sounds like Yoda. It sounds like you just got
That's not
exposed, Yoda, and you don't wanna admit it, bud. But it's okay. But enough of this segment, because I feel like this segment, as excited I was to do it, it sucks that you guys can't hear Yoda talking, and also like
It's so funny
it
how
doesn't
we
match
actually can't hear
anything
a
else.
word. It doesn't.
Hey,
Even,
guys.
it doesn't even like cut in. We
On the
just
edge of
do
our
not hear it
seats.
at all.
Yep.
Well, anyway,
Not a word.
Yoda, thank you for joining us on the podcast today as a special guest star. Appreciate everything you've done.
Round of
Yoda
applause
did
for Yoda,
say
guys.
that
Yeah, let's go Yoda.
let's go Yoda. All right. I will say that Yoda wanted me to include his Venmo and Cash App here for some reason.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if it's right for me to include that in this segment. So, Yoda,
Mine
I
in
don't know if
instead.
I'm gonna be able to do that, but I guess I'll put Yoda's Cash App in the description below. So we'll see. But Yoda, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Yoda.
Have a great time, and I hope that you get to be in another Star Wars movie soon. I know that you would also probably really enjoy that soon as well. So that's it for the Yoda segment.
He needs
We're done.
money, baby.
The bit is over. That's it.
The bit is over. He's been talking about this for like
Moving
3
on.
weeks, guys. Just had to
He
mention
really
it.
has.
Listen, I've been
hyped
so
He's
I've
been
been
torturing
so-
over
it.
I've been so excited about this. You don't understand. And it sucks that like you can't hear him. Like you said, you haven't been able to hear a word. So I will hear it and laugh at the bit, and then I have to explain the bit. So maybe it's just
think
not
it's
a
fine.
bit.
We'll listen.
I don't know.
We'll listen to it.
But
Don't
we'll
worry.
see. But it's okay. But on another note, on something that we have all definitely done and can talk about. I lost my train of thought for a minute there. My bad. Star Wars video games. Between Hannah playing Outlaws and Logan
Yeah.
replaying Jedi. Hold on.
I
I'm
heard
not
him.
exaggerating. Yoda literally.
That was crazy.
If
It's
if you
alive.
leave, I forgot that if you leave him idle for too long, he just is like, "Oh, have another question, do you?
Oh my gosh.
Did you mean to turn me off?" Ooh.
It's Toy Story.
Just like that, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But Yoda said the bit is not over. But but Star Wars video games, between you playing Outlaws, Hannah, and Logan, you playing Jedi Fallen Order, I thought, and we all kind of collectively agreed that it would probably be a great time to talk about our favorite Star Wars games, like growing up,
Yes.
and the ones that mean the most to us. And we actually have about 25 minutes to talk about this, so I guess we can kind of kick things off and
I want to go first.
have fun with it. So,
No.
Logan, I actually
You're
want to
already
let
playing
Hunter
games.
go first.
Fair enough.
I was gonna say you had the
You
canon
talked for
update.
30 minutes.
My fault. It's what the people want. It's what the people
Oh,
want.
man.
People
Brooke said it
yearn
herself.
for the Logan cast.
Yeah.
The
All
log
right,
cast.
you ready, Hunter? I'm
All
gonna
right,
let you go
I'm ready.
first. So,
So, we
hit me
want
with your favorite
favorites?
Star Wars games.
Favorites? Man, it's kind of tough. The one I remember playing the most was definitely Republic Commando.
Ooh.
Ah, just turned 20.
Here,
I
yeah,
haven't.
that
That
ages
was a
me
good
because that
one.
came out when I was a youngin. I remember I got an Xbox, and I specifically got it for Halo, and I could not play Halo as a 12-year-old child because I was not mature enough. Even though I still did play Halo. Sorry, Dad. But the closest thing I could get to it was Republic Commando. So
That's pretty
I got
close,
that.
I will say.
I mean, it is, yeah. I remember the ghost ship scared the bejesus out of me. And specifically the part where you're in the hangar and all the drop ships, they're not like drop ships, but like they're like drop pods of droids coming in.
Oh yeah.
All
I don't think I
I
ever made
forget
it off
which one is
Geonosis.
like the well, it's pretty peak, so you should probably get back to it.
It's hard. I can't do it. It's difficult.
Get good, okay?
Low key.
You can play Fortnite, but you can't play that. That's kind of crazy. Anyway, I think
Hunter
I forget
said,
who's
"I'm coming back to the
who was guy.
podcast, and I'm coming back for blood."
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
coming
I'm
back.
catching
The
strays
roast
over
today.
here.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just how. Oh my gosh, just how it is. But yeah, I forgot who the demolitions guy was. I think it's Scorch. Is
That
like
makes sense.
arming some bombs, and you have to do it like in 3 separate hangars. I just remember dying over and over and over. So yeah, that's my favorite. I think the one I probably played the most before I got an Xbox was Battlefront, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2. 2 most of all.
Both are so good.
But both
I
are
love the
heaters.
Battlefront games
Heat.
incredibly much.
Yes.
Straight up heat. Playing heroes versus villains on Moss Island.
On Mos
Oh,
Eisley.
so fun. We
Hearing
should all
the
play
music
that
in
together.
Yes.
Yeah, are the servers still up? Or is that
I think
box-
It still works.
isn't like the remake of it good?
Yeah, they have the
I
remake.
don't know if it's crossplay
Um,
though.
But I remember it was a
I
whole
don't think
Right.
it
thing.
is.
So maybe I think it is crossplay.
Yeah.
So if
Hey,
it is,
real
then we can
talk
play it.
though. Real talk. Do you guys like Battlefront 2004 better or Battlefront 2 2005 better?
It's got to be 2005. I didn't
I
know that you
agree,
couldn't
100%
sprint in the
Logan.
first game. Did you know
No,
that?
This is
not
gonna be
at
a
all,
hot
but
take.
Oh,
you can't
This is gonna be a hot
sprint,
take.
but you can go prone.
That is true. The thing I liked about, well, yeah, in Battlefront 2004, the standard infantry for the CAS was the B1 battle droid, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Only
and then
on
they changed it to the
Naboo.
super battle droid in. Oh, only on Naboo. Okay,
Only on
Yeah.
Naboo, and then everything else is the super battle.
everything
droid.
is super battle droids.
It's kind of annoying.
I always thought that was
I
so
wanna play
weird.
it.
I always thought
Yeah.
it was so interesting that it was like the standard was like the super battle droid instead. I wonder if that was like a thing where that was where they thought the thing was gonna go before Revenge of the Sith. You know, like
Yeah.
it's interesting to think about.
Mm-hmm.
But my hot take, I think Battlefront 2015 is the best Battlefront game
Interesting. I was about to talk about that.
because it's more
Very
arcadey.
interesting.
I love
It
it. I
is.
like
I think
the
it-
arcadey feel.
Yeah.
It has the best ambiance in my opinion out of any of the.
It does.
yeah.
I think
I
that Dice did an
will
incredible
agree.
job with the sound design in
Fantastic.
that game.
The
no,
thermal
they
Oh,
used,
floater,
absolutely.
fantastic.
They used photo scans for the environments based on the actual locations that they filmed
Yeah.
the original trilogy at. So everything is photorealistic, which I can't say the same for Battlefront 2. Even though I think Battlefront 2 is a bit more polished, I think Battlefront 2015 just
I think-
captures the vibe a bit more.
2015 is the best looking Star Wars game ever. Methinks.
I can get behind
I-
that.
I would agree if Battlefront 2 did
Nope.
not exist solely based, wait, before you jump me, solely based on the fact that Battlefront 2 has all 3 eras of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Battlefront 1,
That is
the
kind of nice.
ambiance
That
and
is true.
vibes of Battlefront 1 2015 is amazing. Like you said, I think Hunter or Logan, like, it is indeed very arcadey in a lot of ways, and I think that the photorealistic scans for a game that's almost 10 years old now, which is insane.
Oh my
to
god.
believe.
Oh my god.
Crazy. What the heck?
Whoa.
Like,
Uh,
I didn't mean to
whoa.
age everybody up. Sorry, my bad. But like
You
for
can
a
already-
game that's
Oh,
almost
no,
10
that's
years
good.
old, like genuinely, it still looks incredible. Like and holds up
does.
tremendously. Logan's having an existential crisis on camera. It's really
He is.
I
I
That does
am.
shock me too.
Okay. I knew that like The Force Awakens was
I didn't
turning
mean to,
10
like,
years old,
jump
and I
scare
could
everybody.
accept that. But like, I remember
For
where I was when
Battlefront?
Battlefront launched, and I remember that I didn't have internet at the time, so I couldn't play online. So I was stuck in arcade for like 3 months.
Oh, dude, I was still in high
Wow.
school. Like, I remember I had to beg my mom to
Same.
buy the game for me because I was running low on money, and she was like, "All right, I got you." But like, so
Wow.
shout out to you, mom, if you're listening. But like,
I remember I
Wow,
didn't have
dude.
my own Xbox yet, so my brother got it, and I would beg to play with him, and we would just fight each
Dude,
other.
I wish that the servers were still more active because I used to replay that one a bit like a few months ago.
mm,
And like playing, I think it was like Endor was so fun in that game. Or Solus
Mhm.
too.
Oh,
That
yeah.
game had the vibe, dude. I kind of loved that it was
that
original
planet's
trilogy too.
amazing.
Yeah, I recently, like, you guys know this about me. I recently became a fan. And a big part of that was like replaying Battlefront 2015. Wow.
You became a
10
cut off for a
years, dude.
second.
That's crazy.
You became a
And,
what
like-
fan? You cut off for a second.
An original trilogy fan.
Recently,
I was never like the
I
biggest. Recently, yeah, barely last year was when I was like, okay,
Whoa.
the original trilogy was
I-
actually kind of
Right.
cool.
That's
oh,
a
we
little-
did talk about
that's gotta
this.
be illegal.
last time,
Yeah,
didn't we?
you guys don't even listen to me.
Well, I will say this much: like, whenever it comes to Battlefront 2, although I think that Battlefront 1's got immaculate vibes, and I'm talking about the 2015 one because everyone already knows how great those original two games are from like
Yeah.
the 2000s. But like, Battlefront 2 was the game, the 2017 one was
That one
actually
is
the
so
game
good.
that I was gonna talk about because that game means a lot to me. Because one, it's the only real modern Star Wars game with all three eras of Star Wars. And I have
That's
never
true.
seen beyond Star Wars. I have never seen a bigger redemption for a video game than Star Wars Battlefront 2 2017. When that
Absolutely,
game
yeah.
launched, it was a disaster. You had the loot box incident.
Actually-
you had everything, and
40
after all of
hours
that,
to unlock
after
Luke
all of the
Skywalker.
bad things that happened. That's insane. I still can't believe that. But like, well, it's EA, so like I can believe it. But
Yeah.
like after everything that had happened, the developers like listening to the community and like being very active in the community and being like, you know what, we're gonna turn this around. Incredible! What an amazing thing! Because like I used to look forward to like the community updates. all
Yes,
the
I was about to
time.
mention
I
that.
would-
Yeah.
As shout out as a true. Did you ever watch his videos on YouTube? He would like be like the one that I would watch YouTube updates.
I always watch Battlefront updates.
Battlefront updates. Yeah, both of them were like incredible. Man,
Yeah, shout
that
out
was
to
like
you
early
guys
high
for
school for
keeping
me.
up with all of that, and your channels in general. But like, no, like, oh man, like I remember the community updates. I would be so hyped about it, and they would announce the new heroes. Who
Remember
could
they had a
ever forget?
droidicas?
That was awesome. I was gonna say, remember when they added Anakin Skywalker and he was broken, and there were like
Yeah.
all the
Awful.
memes like Anakin killed Thanos,
Oh my
Anakin
gosh.
killed
Yeah.
like all of these people. It was so
Yeah.
funny, but like even like with everything that fixed it, like it was so great. And you had like DLC for all the new movies, like Solo, The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker. Like they added
That Rise of
so much to the
Skywalker
game
trailer.
and really made it great. I
That
still
was a
watch
life
it.
changing
It's
video.
amazing.
Yeah, I watch it to this
I
day,
was-
and yeah,
I'll never forget where I was when it dropped because I remember I was in Magic Kingdom, like I was about to go in with my friends because we were there the week that Rise of Skywalker was coming out, and I remember they dropped the reveal trailer, like while we were in line about to go into the park, and like my friends and I could have just gone in, but
Yeah.
like we actually like let a few people go in front of us so that we could watch the trailer. Like
That's
we
so
couldn't
funny.
even wait
As you
to like
should.
go
Yeah.
inside to like watch it. Like it was that big of a deal for us. So that game means like a lot to me. People love to like talk like trash about the campaign in that game, but
I
honestly,
love the
I think it's really
campaign.
well done.
it's fun.
And I think
Yeah,
Lightning Versio is such an awesome character that
Love
needs to come
her.
back
She's so cool.
in some kind
And the
of
actress
she
that,
definitely needs to come back. Oh my
yes,
goodness, I
the
would love for
actress
her.
that
She was like,
portrays her is awesome.
she's perfect
Yeah,
Nina?
absolutely.
for like a Mandoverse
Yes,
like cameo right now. I think
I agree.
put Iden Versio in Mando season 4.
Plus, it's just so cool.
No,
Make it
like,
happen.
the
seeing
Mandalorian
somebody-
and Grogu.
It's cool
They already
seeing
done
somebody
shooting.
that was a part of the Empire then like have that redemption arc of becoming a part of
Yeah,
the rebellion.
yeah. Everybody always talks about how like we get too many things. It's like we don't really get any like they switch or they don't switch over. But I'm like, I
Yeah,
can't really name any of the top of my head where they successfully integrate besides like Callus maybe, but like
Yeah,
you don't really see it too often, in my opinion.
you don't.
Yeah.
Well, I was
Love
also
Battlefront.
going to say really quick because we are running a little bit close to the end here in terms of like time. I will say to quickly shout out just a few more games because I could talk about how much I love Battlefront 2 2017 for hours.
Yeah.
And I know that we don't have hours on the podcast.
Yeah.
So I'll just say real quick, Star Wars Bounty Hunter for the PS2, really solid game. Crazy controls sometimes, but that's to be expected with like a game from like 2000, like whatever. You also have the Clone Wars game from 2003. If you've never played that one, it's so much fun. That one's got amazing like vehicle controls and
I think
amazing
that was the
levels
one.
and also really cool lightsaber battles.
Me and my brother played that one together the most.
It's so much fun. There was a mode in that game
That's on
where
3,
like
you
you
said?
could play multiplayer and play on like
Yep.
the Geonosis arena.
That's
And
what we
my friend
did.
and I used to play that all
We
the
would
time.
sit there
And
for hours just blowing each other up.
And I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this. I guess they can like comment it down below. But like in the Geonosis Battle Arena mode, there is like some Jedi, and he's like some generic looking guy, and he's not in the movies. I don't think. Like I don't know who this guy is. Like if anybody knows who that specific Jedi is that you can play as in that Geonosis Arena mode in the Clone Wars 2003 game, please let me know. And I guess last but not least, you've got Star Wars Starfighter, Star Wars Jedi Starfighter, which are two games that I really love. And also
Are we not going to mention Lego Star Wars?
Lego Star Wars.
Exactly.
I was
There it
about to
is.
say
Yeah, I was about to
That's
say
what I
you
thought you were
can't
gonna
go all this
say.
time without talking about Lego Star Wars.
Well, before we hop on Lego Star Wars, I was going to mention. I thought about mentioning Star Wars Racer, Episode 1 Racer, because it's such a good game. And I also thought about
Yeah,
mentioning
you've been playing that a
Shadows of
lot
the
lately.
Empire. But I've been playing. Anyone who knows me knows how much I love Shadows of the Empire and Episode 1 Racer, so I was like, I'm not going to talk about those
Yeah.
here. Maybe I'll talk about them more in depth if we ever do like a Legends podcast.
No,
or
I would
something
not
like
have
that,
anything to
'cause-
talk about in that one.
But I think it'd be cool to talk about those games in like that capacity. I don't know, but really great games. But I don't want to take away all the Star Wars video games because Hannah hasn't said any games yet, and I don't want to like leave her with next to nothing. Because there are two more games I want to mention, but I want to see if you say them first.
You took two of the ones that I was going to say. Because the first one I was going to say was the Clone Wars game, because that game is my childhood. Like, I have, when I think about playing video games as a small child, I think of the Clone Wars game and me and my brother playing in the Geonosis arena, just driving around like that. That was what we did. And then Lego Star Wars, of course. Like the different ones that they made when I was growing up, played all of those. I remember I had it on my Nintendo DS. And I also have a funny memory of my brother playing it. He couldn't get past Mustafar. And my cousin's then fiance, now husband, had to play the Mustafar level on his DS to get him past it. And then my favorite games of all time, obviously, are the Jedi games.
Understandable.
Those are so good.
They're so good. I love the story mode ones a little bit more than games that are like just pure combat.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I was also going to mention the Revenge of the Sith movie tie-in game. If you've never played that, it holds up tremendously. Like you can get it, I think on like the PlayStation Store or like Steam, and I'm telling you, it's just that good. Like it is so good.
I don't think I've ever played that one.
And also, if you've never played Rogue Leader, Rebel Strike, or any of those old Rogue Squadron games, those are straight bangers across the board. Part of the reason why I wanted a GameCube so bad growing up is because my cousin had those games on his GameCube, and every time I went over to his house, we would always play like Rogue Squadron, Rebel Strike, like all of those games, and they're so good. They hold up so well. The flight controls in those games are just amazing. So if you've never played those, and if you really like flight-based games, it's totally the game for you. If you want to talk about games, I feel like arcadey, those are definitely the ones.
Nice.
I can't fly ships.
Yeah.
I suck so
You
bad.
love squadrons.
Those missions in the campaign for Battlefront 2 took me so long to get through because I suck so bad at flying a ship. And the stupid TIE fighters are so hard.
Yeah. It's so funny.
I thought it was pretty easy, actually.
I know it's a skill issue, okay?
Hunter's coming out for blood this podcast. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm not holding back.
I just wanted to briefly mention Lego Star Wars and Battlefront 2 were the first games I ever played as a kid, and they have a very special place in my heart. Shout out PlayStation 2.
Yes,
Best
still
console
have mine.
ever.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I wish I had mine.
I love that I've had it. I don't know how, out of all the things I've lost from like growing up, I don't know how I've managed to keep my PS2 for so long, but
For a
I sure
while,
will
but I
find a
think
way.
my dad got rid of it.
But
I'm surprised we haven't said the Revenge of the Sith video game.
We did.
what? I
We literally did.
Me and I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
He's been talking smack for so long that I finally caught up to him.
Yeah.
He just got up and left.
Call it karma.
All right.
It is as the Force wills it, Hunter.
Pack it up.
Womp.
Cheer it. All right. Can I watch Daredevil now?
My bad.
Yeah.
I think that we can. So
Alrighty.
I'll tell you what, to everybody listening, comment your favorite Star Wars video game down in the comments below. I'm excited to hear everybody's, even if it's one that we talked about here. I'd love to hear your
Tell us
thoughts
what you
on
like
it and why it's
about
so
it.
special to you. Absolutely. Also, Hunter, I'm glad that you could make it back onto the podcast.
Yes,
Glad that you
me
were
too.
here
Me
and that you were able to
too.
talk
I've
to
never.
us.
You're never getting rid of me.
The gang's all here.
Yes. Let's keep it this way.
We're all together. We got this. But to everybody listening, once again, thank you so much for watching and listening and everything in between. I greatly appreciate it, and I know that we all do as well. I love starting off the podcast with that, and I'll always love ending with that as well, because genuinely, I do know how much it means to all of us, and I know that getting a lot of really great reviews on Spotify especially meant a lot to us last week.
Yeah, that was incredible.
So,
Yeah,
so
thanks,
thank you so
guys.
much to everybody who did that. But on top of that, you can find all of our links in the description down below. And thank you guys so much for listening as always. And next Friday we'll be back with a brand new episode. So until then, may the Force be with you.